You know, the side note of doing these walks is that we get to see the boardwalk twice, more than we usually do. Usually we just see the inside of a venue. But you guys are really amazing for coming out and doing this again. And we get exercise, which doesn't usually happen. You know, it's really amazing to think about doing these walks, and every time we do them, they're different. Every time we come out here, it's a challenge of whether whether people will show up and whether we can collect these miles and make a difference with these actions. Who's walking barefoot today? Who's walking barefoot? Dang, that's a lot of barefoot people right there. It just got really nice outside, and you're like, okay, fine, do it. Somebody was reminding me the other day that we have walked in some really gross places, and but they had specific recollections. Like puddles full of who knows what, and some glass, and you know, the intention of the walks is not to hurt people's feet, but it's the reality that there are so many things we take for granted, and it's not about feeling guilty, like, wow, look at all the things we have, but it's about just continually reminding ourselves that there's so many things we already have that we can use to make a difference. Last year when we started doing the walks, it was about giving shoes, and we continued to partner with Tom's to give shoes, but the goal when we started off was, well, if we could just get people to buy a pair of shoes, then we could give a pair for every one of those. And by doing that, thousands of shoes were given. Thousands of shoes were put on kids' feet that really needed them. And what inspired us about this tour was we wanted to make sure you guys knew that just by coming, even if you weren't able to spend $40 on a pair of shoes, or that you knew that the decision to come, the decision to show up, which is the hardest thing to do, that you'd be making a difference. So we committed that we're going to give $1 for every one of you guys that decides to finish this walk, put your name down, and register your mile. Okay? And the idea is that you're going to decide how your walk gets registered. You're going to decide how it counts. You can say, you know what, I want this walk to count for helping to drill a clean water well. I'm going to help to build a school. I'm going to help to provide that pair of shoes. I'm going to help provide medicine for mothers with HIV in Soweto, South Africa. Or I'm going to provide access to doctors through a technology company, through a cell phone that will allow women in the impoverished area of South Africa to know that they can keep in touch with their doctor and keep them and their unborn children alive. But these are decisions you guys get to make, and it all comes down to very simple actions that make those things possible. You know, I just mentioned 5 things, and you know, I wanted to mention one of the things, which is water, because we're actually getting really close to drilling a clean water well, thanks to the miles that have been walked. We reached our first goal, which was to provide 250 mothers with access to DocVio, which is a technology that makes sure that women that are in treatment with HIV in South Africa have access to their doctors to keep up treatment and maintain that treatment. But we're also, one of the goals that we're getting close to is to provide a clean water well. The people that we partner with are our friends in the Banjars of Clay that started a group called Bloodwater Mission. And what inspired them to do that was driving through the villages in different parts of Africa, and specifically in Kenya, where they saw grown men leaning down and putting their face into dirty puddles of stagnant water. And then young girls that were walking miles and miles and miles to bring, you know, what is in most cases infected water that would cause infection in their villages, but it's the only water they have access to. And, you know, AIDS is something that is an incredibly challenging disease, because what happens is it breaks people's immune system down, and if you're struggling with that disease, that dirty water is going to make it impossible for a mother to transition from using formula so she doesn't pass on AIDS through her breast milk, or for young women or people that are struggling with a disease to not die of another disease because of AIDS. And water is an essential tool to make sure that they have the ability to maintain life, and for that matter, to change their own lives. What I think the future of the walks is that our children will be the ones that will benefit as we lead a pathway that can help save the lives of the next generation. And then in the future, this is going to be about a partnership with people. This is not about how we're going to change the lives of people half a world away because we're so great. This is about how we're going to start and give those that need a little bit, the little bit that we can give. Because in the future, this is about inspiring people that want to help themselves, to drill a well, build their own village back, to put water in their cups that's not going to be infected with diseases, that's going to allow them to change the lives of their children. And it's going to start with this walk. That's not even an exaggeration. I mean, we've already seen how thousands of kids were impacted by the 99-cent download that you guys bought, the song Great Divide. Over 2,000 kids were impacted over a period of a few months just from a little outreach community center that was set up for kids to come and get access to doctors and research and counseling and provide access to the hospital so they could get HIV treatment if they needed it. The actions of today seem small, but I'm going to tell you guys, this one walk, down the Atlantic City Boardwalk, this is going to change the lives of people, thousands of miles away. And the challenge is to realize that this isn't even about what we can do later. This is about that this today is making the difference. This $1, I want to make sure that we can give that dollar for you guys. And the reason we did that is because we want you to know that no matter what happens, you did something today that will change the lives of those that need your help. And the challenge will be, once we finish this walk, you put your name down, you say, you know what, I want my dollar to go to that clean water well. I want to help build that school or provide that medicine. But then you can go to takethewalk.net. You can see how thousands of other people have walked, thousands of people have come and said, hey, I can do that. I can take that small action. And maybe you guys will be the next ones to put on another walk here in Atlantic City on your own and take this walk. Because we want to give that dollar for you, and we want you guys to take the lead and say, we have so many better ideas than you guys do, Hanson. We're going to do it. We have passion that we can use, our other skills, our ideas, our influence over people around us, and we can take the walk. You guys are doing it today. So you guys are amazing. This is a great walk. Like we said, 96 miles later, we're still doing it. Somebody asked us how long we're going to be doing this thing, and I don't know. My thought is that one thing has led to another, and you guys have continued to inspire us. And if nothing else happens, you guys have continued to motivate us to do this, to look for new ideas, to meet new people, to reach out to others that are making a difference, and watch the greatest fans in the world change the lives of people around the world. So you guys are incredible. What do you say we loop around and finish this mile, right? We have some people that might hear us. So everybody say, I took the walk!
I took the walk!
Say one more time, I took the walk!
I took the walk!
Damn right. Okay. I'm gonna turn around, let's finish this thing.